Hey guys, Jaguar here, doing another video for YouTube. Thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to talk about a little bit about the shadow aspects of life, the way that the spiral works in us all. And, I've come across several moments myself and the people I've connected with and even clients, going into that aspect of, realizing that life has seasons, that we have seasons, that it's such a spiral, that sometimes it's so potent to go back to how you are, how you were, the habits, the vices, all that stuff. And knowing that there's a reason why we go into these places. I think a lot of us feel shame and really feel low when we find ourselves in these moments. Like, for example, when we say we're done with something, we quit, smoking cannabis or drinking, or now we're going to do this and we're going to have a schedule and a routine. And we're always wanting to, I feel like, shift into a better us. And going into the reality that we are always perfect and always divine. So seeing the gift and how we're actually guided into these places. And for myself, it's been that way as well. This last, I would say, year and a half to almost two years has been a reawakening of my old self. I was given the name Robert when I was born by my parents. So that always carried an energy about it. And Robert really learned a lot of beautiful, beautiful ways to protect himself, to just be. And those things really worked for me, honestly, growing up. And I think that's a lot of the things that we get to really dive into and find out about ourselves, and finding our shadows, finding our habits, I would say, that have made us who we were and have worked for us. So honoring that so deeply, just remembering that we are perfect and that we are capable beyond our imagination, and just like even realizing that everything we have done up to the point of transformation, because each moment there's a shift that happens in all of us, that I feel at least, where we come into this beautiful cycle and completion, and then we get to choose our next flow. So for me, something that personally has been coming up has been, just accessing of what Robert was like before. And Robert was very silent, very quiet, very unexpressed. It was never safe to be me. Growing up, I would get constant reflections, I think when I was super young too, how, we had to be a certain way, or we couldn't talk when adults were talking, or what we had to share wasn't important. Even as young, when we're young, like our parents telling us, hey, like, I don't care what you want, this is what's happening. And like having that program so much to the point where, I had found myself seeing that I'm able to be in situations and settings and places and doing activities, even work, that may not benefit me the most, but becomes more of a sacrifice or a doing in order to receive love, in order to receive acceptance, in order to receive value, worth. And through all the stuff that's happening right now, I feel that's coming in deep for a lot of us, is finding our worth, our inner worth. And I would just like to just share about that. And, wherever any of you are in this moment, knowing that, wow, like deeply honoring like what you've been through, knowing that like no one has lived your story. Nobody knows what you've had to go through and how you've had to like shift yourself in order to survive, in order to receive, in order to feel whole. And as we go deeper into this path, into this path of yourself, of your heart, of your truest expression, we begin to see what is no longer in alignment, and we begin to do the work to let go of these old parts of ourselves. And for me, this YouTube channel, this constant video expression that I'm embarking on, is that for me personally. To be here is unimaginable in my past self. I would never see myself in this position, but I see how potent and how beneficial it can be for a lot of people to just like feel that we're all in this together, that we all have these moments. And just remembering that, that constant remembrance of our own worth, of what we deserve, or our boundaries of where we express our no's, our sacred no's, and our sacred yes. And, to me, it's been a challenge, I feel, to release the need to be a certain way, to release the need to be seen a certain way, and just be more authentically me in the moment. And that's what I want you guys to start feeling as well, to realizing that, maybe it is perfect that you decide to be in a certain energy, or to go into some darkness, quote unquote, into a reality where it's not so, like, for example, anger, or just shouting, or just like saying no, or just like canceling plans, or just, all these things that we feel fear about will be judged or seen like a certain way, especially for, let's say, empaths or healers or people that love to give. That's a challenge, I think, for us to also remember our selfishness, self-worth, self-love, and when the time is to go inward and to retreat and to block everyone out, because ultimately we don't owe anyone anything ever. What we share is always a gift, and the lack of sharing within ourselves, the lack of giving that gift to ourselves, then automatically comes into resentment. It starts sneaking in, and sometimes it's very loud. Sometimes it's very loud on how we feel about other people who may not care, may not like be so tuned in, may not be so present. Regardless of what it is, I've had the same feelings, of like, why can this person, who does this person think they are, that they can just be that? And ultimately it's the unexpressed part of myself that I'm judging, or that I am resenting, because they get to be something and they don't have this inhibition. So it definitely rubs those wounds, those hidden aspects of resentment out. And when you're feeling them, it's great to just feel them, just like just get angry, just punch something, like just like fuck, everything, just throw it all out and really come back to yourself for a second and recharge. So I want you guys to just honor that part of you. There's nothing wrong with you. There's never been anything wrong with you. And even though you've been given a lot of reflections throughout your life saying these things about you, remember your truth and why you do the things that you do. So this one's a little short one, and I just want to share that with you guys today. And thank you for witnessing me. We're in this, like I said, together. So collectively, we're going to continue to rise and figure ourselves and our hearts and share that the way we feel best, the way it feels authentic and aligned. And just ultimately releasing the victim side of ourselves, letting that finally go, and owning all aspects of everything that we are, and finding that fire within. So tune in for more of these. And don't forget to subscribe. If you like this, thumbs up. Leave me a comment below on anything that you feel is your shadow or that people don't like about you, and maybe sharing what you see the benefit of that particular characteristics of yours is. All right. Well, thank you. Aho, and blessings to you, beautiful ones.